The 2024 Nationals season has concluded as we move on to the now newly formed Jeremy Bennett Invitational. But we are here tonight to give our thoughts on everything from the hotel to the tournament to the food to the accommodations, everything you need to know about the 2024 Nationals in Vernon Hills, Chicago, coming right up on What in the World, the East edition. And welcome in to What in the World, the East Coast edition. I am your host, Sully Ali Shaheed, and I am joined tonight, of course, by my main man, my friend, my partner, the Chill Man. Chili, what's going on tonight, brother?
Oh, just on the pod here. I did listen to our sister podcast earlier today. Shout out to Noah, Steve, and Mark. They did a great job. Great views, great opinions. If you haven't listened to it before you listen to this one, after you're done listening to us here, go on ahead and jump over to their channel and give them a view, give them a listen. But I'm doing pretty good, man. This is ready to talk some old Whirlyball. Like you said in the intro here, we do have some kind of breaking news today that it does look like we do have the invitational there in Michigan, the Jeremy Bennett Invitational. Looks like it's set up here Friday through Sunday, September 27th through the 29th. Uh, so go on ahead and check that out if you're interested. I know a lot of the Cleveland folk will be there, so that might sway you in going or not going. But we're we're here, so I'm just getting ready to let's talk some post nationals and let's dive on in.
Yes, I like to preface this with what I told you about earlier is that I did not listen to the other podcast because I didn't want my opinions or views, points to be swayed by what they said over there. So I'm pretty sure it's an excellent listen. I will make sure to check that out tomorrow. But as for today, I have no knowledge of anything they said, and it's probably better that way because I don't want to either forget names that I don't say tonight or repeat names because some might come up, some might not. There were how many teams, Chill, this year? 32?
A lot.
Okay, so let's say 30 plus teams, 5 men and women on each team. Guess what? I ain't saying all your damn names. So if you're waiting for a shout out, sorry about it. Okay. If you
You don't
want
want
to
to.
talk to me or anybody that's on this podcast or their podcast, feel free to shoot me a message on Facebook and we can have a side conversation. But I ain't glazing everybody today. Okay. I'm just not doing it. I ain't got the time. So thank you to everybody that came out, flew out, drove out, walked over to the center if you were a Chicago native. I appreciated seeing all of y'all, meeting new faces, putting correct names to faces. Listen, Mark, I knew your name. Okay. I knew it. Like, just don't get salty about it. All right. I forget names all the time. I'm in human resources and I don't even know half my damn staff. Okay. So don't take it personally. All right. I knew your name. It was just great to see everybody, though. Great to see everybody. What were you about to say, Chill?
Yeah, you don't want to shout out third place Chicago for C, just to make George happy.
Who the fuck finished in third?
It's a great question.
What was their team name? We can do it right now.
Their team name? I don't know the team name.
You don't know the team name?
I don't.
Well, then I guess we're up Shit's Creek, aren't we?
But we did shout out, so shout out to them. I don't know your team name. I know who was on the team, but I don't know your team name. So uh, everything that George got mad about in the comments, we'll rectify it here. Great job.
Hey, listen.
Third
Okay,
place.
so wait. So you have the options between Willie's Peckerheads.
Nope, that was the team that got second. That's the team that choked in their center.
Okay, the Castaways
Uh,
and C3FPH off. I I don't get it. What am I missing? Fuck off. Is that what is it? I don't get the pun.
I don't know. I don't name teams. I just I mean, you see how creative we were with our name. I mean, we
Hey,
had the I think we had the greatest logo though. Shout out to Brad Dobies on our logo.
the logo was fire.
Uh,
I'm not gonna
I
lie.
know he has a rather large post Nationals order to fill, so
Oh yeah, the
shot
logo was fire. I'm glad I got.
yeah.
I'm glad I got one. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
shout out Brad. If you still want a Woo merchandise, message Brad Dobies on Facebook. Let him know you want one.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to copy you one. Hey, shout out to while we're on the subject of, I'm trying to bring it back, but as we're on the topic of uniforms and jerseys and shit, there were a lot of creative ones this year. Like whoever placed orders through Tanya, shout out to her. I mean, phenomenal job, excellent as always. But there was some creative ones out there, and I'm glad there were a lot of jersey exchanges this year. Chewbacca was one of my favorites. That was a really good one. Except the only thing I didn't like about the Chewbacca ones was the name was right at the crotch, like right at the bottom. So like where you sweat and shit from like, all your fat, like it's just right there. It was like you bleh by the end of it. But other than
They
that, those are fire.
they knew what they were doing with that name placement. We know where the eyes need to go.
You see any like women wearing that shirt and it's like in an inappropriate spot and they're like, no, 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 you blocked it.
Isn't that like most women's clothing? Unrelated note.
Um,
There's like a saying or something. It's just like right on
like
the
right on the
ass.
butt. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's very true. That's very true. This guy keeps looking at me. Bitch, you have a phrase on your ass. Like, what do you want me to do?
Disregard.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm off topic. I'm off topic. I'm off topic. But again, as I was saying, anybody that had a nice jersey, a nice shirt, Sam Kim bedazzled some of the shirts this year, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I think everybody as a whole, this was probably one of the better nationals for team shirts and center shirts, and so keep up with those of you that are creative and come up with these ideas. Shout out to you. I know
Yeah,
there's probably a lot
absolutely.
of people involved there, so shout out to everybody that comes up with the cool designs and logos. It's something definitely cool to see, and like you said, a lot of jersey swapping, and so that was cool.
Yeah, it enhanced the experience. I mean, it really did. Like sometimes, like we buy merch from like NBA and NFL and all that crap, put jerseys on and stuff like that. But for our little community to come together and be so creative with designs and names, and it's cool to see. We are far gone from the days of Cleveland B. Remember that shit?
Yeah, we're the only center that never came up with a name.
Yeah.
Cleveland D, Court One. Like
Like, oh, you can name your team? Holy crap.
people would write in steamers, and now that's a proud team name of ours.
Yeah, and that's nothing to be proud of, to be honest. Oh, Cleveland Steamers, I get it. Like,
It's a
oh my god,
train. It's a train, right?
it's definitely a train because
Yeah,
trains are so prevalent in Cleveland.
yeah. Trains.
Uh, well, speaking of trains, let's go ahead and start from the very beginning. Our trip to Chicago. I drove along with several other Cleveland players. I know there was some Texas guys that drove. Most of us went by plane, but you guys elected to go by train. How was that experience?
The train experience was good, man. I mean, it's a 6 hour train ride. Doesn't feel like 6 hours. I would say if you're a larger gentleman, the seats are roomy. You can lean back all the way without affecting the other person. You got a lot of leg room, outlets at your disposal there on the train. So it's good, man. They have a food cart up in the front. You, you can bring whatever the hell you want onto the train. Truthfully,
Was there free
but
Wi-Fi?
I do believe so. Yes, there was Wi-Fi on the train. So no, man, the train was cool. It was different. I haven't been on a train since I was probably like 10 or something like that. So, and this was like a real train. Be a, I'm on the train in the valley. You know what I'm talking about. But
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely. Polar Express, man. Me and the kids, bro. That's a fun train ride. You've
but
never done
no,
the Polar Express. It's awesome. But yeah, as far as like traveling for 6 hours, sounds like a good experience.
dude, it's smooth. The people at Union Station were all really friendly on helping to get you where you need to go, and uh, it was a great experience. I have no complaints. I would do it again.
Awesome, awesome. My drive was pretty easy. Getting there was pretty nice. So I will admit that it was. I mean, it was a couple hiccups, in the road, like a couple, spots of traffic. Apparently, Chicago's known for traffic. So I know a lot of people bitched about that, which is, it is what it is, man. It's traffic. We're gonna any major city we go to, there's gonna be traffic. It just seems like I was back in Ohio because of all the construction that they had going on. But other than that, I mean, it was a smooth ride. So no complaints on that. So we got into Chicago. We've seen parts of downtown. We come into, well, actually, let's revert back because I actually started in Vernon Hills because I went to the hotel to get Sean and Cheryl because we went down to the Cubs game to meet you guys. How was your experience with Wrigley Field?
Man, Wrigley Field was off the charts. It was cool. Cross that off the old stadium bucket list.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shout out to our Uber driver. That was Abdul. Shout out to him for getting us to where we needed to go. If you're in Chicago, give him a shot. He was entertaining. Uh, so no complaints there. But
Oh,
Wrigley Field.
Abdul.
Yeah, Abdul. What a what a unit. What a unit he was. But no.
You can tell he
Uh,
was definitely a Chicago native because he was carving up some traffic, huh?
oh yeah, man. This he like his vision. Like he could be a running back. This dude's vision was amazing, man. He cut and hit the hole perfectly, man. He was good. But no, Wrigley Field was cool. Um, obviously, just want to enjoy the stadium experience more than the game. I could give two shits who won the game. I believe the Cubs won, but
The Cubs did win. I mean, it was over in
uh,
the first inning, so yes, the
it,
Cubs did
it
win.
really it really was. But nah, man, Wrigley Field was cool. Glad I got to go to it at least once.
Yeah, I think the stadium was awesome. I think the location was awesome. I think getting in and out of traffic down there was pretty easy because you got the parking zones. Um, shout out to our boy Chiquan, hooked us up with a parking pass. So big ups to him, no doubt about that. Saved us some loot and parking. Um, and then I got identified as apparently what I don't know. Was I the white man down there? It
You,
was a white man.
yeah, because you didn't give the other guy $1. You were a white man.
I didn't give the homeless black guy $1. Out of the
Yeah,
out of the thousands of people that were down there, he
yeah,
singles out me to give him $1, and I ain't give him the damn dollar,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
got called a white man.
yeah,
I don't
white man.
understand how that works.
Yeah, come
I
on,
would
white
I would
man.
I would think that's more being black by not giving you the fucking money.
Yeah, he was like, "Come on, white man. Come on, brother. Come on, white man."
Nigga, I ain't your motherfucking brother.
I gave him $1.
All right, black man, giving up $1.
I gave him the dollar. He made me laugh.
Yeah, at my expense.
It's so true.
At my damn expense. So travel was awesome. Wrigley was awesome. Now it's time to get back to the hotel for a quick second, a brief spurt, because we had to freshen up to get ready to play a couple games that night to get ready for the rest of the tournament. We had a couple seeding games that night. Your team and my team did. What did you think about the hotel?
I mean, the hotel. Man, the hotel had a lot of ups and downs in its own right.
Unlike the elevator, which broke down one of those days.
It did. I mean, the the hotel obviously you can't account for all that rain. Yeah, I mean we were on six, and that ceiling was leaking pretty bad, right outside our door.
It almost took me out, and apparently it took out another player.
Yeah. I mean the hotel was nice. I do huge shout out. I believe Bill got most of that set up, and the hotel giving us that conference room was super clutch. Spent many of hours in that conference room. After playing. So, I mean, as a whole, I can't really complain about the hotel. I mean, the breakfast it is what it is, but I mean,
What breakfast? There was no fucking breakfast.
I
There
mean,
was some
there was some
yogurt.
fruit,
There was some
some fruit,
yogurt, some fruit.
fruit.
What else was there? Donuts, lots of
Yeah,
donuts.
yeah. I mean, it is what it is. It's not the. I mean, it was fine. Them giving us the conference room was pretty much that's what made it worth it. Truthfully,
Yeah, you actually used it. My ass was sleep.
I mean, I didn't use it much before our tournament day.
And man, your boy was tired, man. I was exhausted the entire fucking time. I'm like, y'all have fun. I'm gonna be right up on this couch, curled up and pass the hell out. So, but yeah, I mean, I give it a C. I mean, it was awesome having that conference room, like you said. I think the at least the room we had was pretty roomy.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
the
it
room was
it
nice.
was fit us three real easy. We could have fit four, not been like complaining about it. Especially me, I just curl up on the fucking floor or the corner of a couch and I'm good. So
Yeah. I mean, I know some other people were having issues with their water. Some people had
ah,
to switch rooms. Um, I mean, for any Nationals hotel, I just need somewhere to sleep. So as long as as long as I can sleep in peace, I'm okay. So like, I mean, I give it a B. It's not the best hotel we've been in, but I give it a B.
fair, fair. All right, so we've crossed the path of seeing some sights in Chicago. Had to see Wrigley while we were down there. Decent hotel. Again, not going to complain about that because we're all here for one reason, and that's Whirlyball. So we get up to the center that night, and first of all, was that your first? Was that your first time at that location?
Yes.
Okay, mine too. I went to the other location, like the downtown one. That bitch is nice, but we didn't play there. We played Vernon Hills. So I will say, before I got in there, I had a negative image because it was a lot of the things that I don't want to say got away with, but did at other nationals wasn't flying at Chicago, right? Like we knew that before we walked in the door. So outside food and drink and like that, all banned, right?
Yeah.
So we knew from last year in Cleveland where we was cleaning up Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, shit like that. And it wasn't an issue for us. You know what I'm saying? It was just, oh, we got to take out the trash at the end of the night and vacuum. Whoa, whoop-de-doo. It wasn't that big a deal. Here, man, you walked in with a cup of Dunkin', shit, you getting chewed out. That was that was a different experience. A lot of us, especially like me and the Texas boys, some of the Seattle boys, we're all vapors. So like anytime like we had our mods in our hand or like the disposables, we had to like look both ways before we crossed the street type deal just to make sure like we can blow in peace. Cause I got yelled at one time when I was on commentary trying to vape, and I was just like, you know what? I can get away with this at home, but I can't do it here. But that's okay. That's okay. So when I walked in, as we went down to the basement, I thought that it looked pretty cool, honestly. I mean, like you see the check-in sign, you see the check-in side, I should say, your bar area, and then you got your two courts, that cool upstairs area that they had, like the was where I spent the majority of my time, was like overlooking the court. The referee setup was kind of funky, like going in that door and like going out the back, and it's like in that one corner, but I can't help like the construction of the building. But overall, I felt like, it was a pretty cool facility. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the facility was it. I mean, it was roomy. It had some room. Um, it wasn't the most initially to start. It wasn't the most Nationals player friendly facility, just due to the viewing areas on both courts. Obviously, with I think it was Gus, and even Sean from our center, helping to get that live stream on court two. Um, so once we got the stream over to court two, I thought it helped out tremendously, and it gave me a more positive uh, outlook on the center.
Yeah, having that
Yeah,
set up in that big lobby was pretty cool.
yeah, it helped out a lot. You know, you could watch from there. You could watch and even if you were coaching and couldn't get to a window, you could at least watch and see what your teams were doing and stuff like that. But yeah, I think the live stream to Court 2 helped out a ton there. But yeah, I mean, it's a little. I get that the center has their own food and they want you to buy their food, and like, I get it, they're a business as well. But like, you know, like us bringing in just as long as we're not bringing in alcohol, I didn't see what the big deal was. Like, but I mean, to each their own.
Right.
I really didn't bring any outside food or drink in. I tried to respect all the rules, but I think that's a little silly considering that at all the other nationals you could basically bring in whatever you want as long as you're not, doing anything silly with alcohol.
Yeah, which 90% of 99% of our populace does not do anything stupid, but we enjoy a fucking chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A.
I
You
mean,
hungry? Bring that shit in, man. I don't
I
care.
mean, I mean, I won't throw anybody under the bus here, but there was the parking lot bar.
Yeah, there was.
So again here, not throwing, I'm no rat, but there was the old parking lot bar if needed.
We that was another cool thing in Cleveland too, because like our parking lot is like really, really big. So like the guys from I think Michigan, they set up tents and shit like outside. And whenever they needed to like go out or whatever, we just like chilled under there, which was like kind of cool, So that was an experience. But again, we didn't have that room in Chicago, unfortunately. But again, you can't really help how your center's laid out, right? Because like you don't build a center for nationals, you build a center
Right,
for your business.
right. I mean, listen, Chicago don't have the worst parking lot. We're about to go to the worst parking lot.
We are.
I mean, Seattle's parking lot.
I thought you said like we, as in
No,
Cleveland, is about to go to the worst parking
no.
lot. Our parking lot's the shit. What are you talking about?
Seattle's parking lot. You can park like not enough people.
Yeah, you're parking down the street and you're walking, but that's for next year. That's for next year. Um, so all that out of the way, we see the center. We got our first impressions, this, that, and the other. Before I get into the cars and like how we played and everything, there's another. I got a bitch real quick. I have to do it. Okay,
Do it.
those freaking bar prices were outrageous. Period. I don't give a damn who you are. You ain't charging me a $10 for a draft beer. You're just not. I paid for that shit. Well, you did. Thank you, Chill. You paid for that shit at Wrigley. And it was damn near the same price. I had 3 beers and 2 of them Cheryl bought. I was good. Like I was like and the funny thing is like, I think the bartenders were very nice, but like the first time I bought a beer there, I handed the young lady a 20 and she hands me back 10 and I was like, I'm waiting on the rest of my damn change. But she never came back. So either the beer was $10 and she handed me a 10 back, expecting not to get tipped, because normally as a server, if you owe $10 change, you hand back 5 and 5 ones. So you can get tipped out. You hand me back a 10, guess what? Either she took the tip out already and the beer was like $8.50 and gratuity was on top, or she was like, well, I ain't getting tipped because whatever. I was like, I'm thinking to myself, like, because I was raised in the service industry, so I know these things. But like, I'm thinking, which way is it? I'm looking at the price on the menu. Is it 10? Is it 8.50? Like, I don't even know what I was being charged, to be honest. And I get it, us Nationals folks, most of us will go out and we don't care. We're on vacation anyway. The price is the price, whatever. We're gonna pay it. But I just thought, at least comparatively speaking to Cleveland's prices, man, we was getting kind of gouged.
I mean, they almost drank us out of beer at our center.
Because our beer is cheap, bro. Our beer's cheap as shit.
I mean, we raised our prices, and I still thinking it ain't even close.
Nah, man, you get $5 for a freaking IPA for a tall shit. That's not. Yeah, we did raise our prices. That's the thing. To that, like, that's nothing. But like, I got to
Right.
Chicago, and I'm like, holy moly! But again, thank you, Cheryl, for buying me a few beers. It's greatly appreciated. You know what I'm saying? Your boy ain't hurting, but it hurt my feelings a little bit knowing that what I get at home. You know what I mean?
I mean, fair enough. I'm not a really big drinker, and so I didn't really buy too much from the bar. I bought some food from the bar. I thought the food was good.
It looked good.
Yeah, the food from the bar was good, so I can't really complain about that. I thought it was pretty reasonably priced too.
I saw
I
like a
can't
bunch
really
of pizzas and nachos and wings and stuff like that coming out. Like it looked
yeah
good.
yeah, so I can't really comment on the bar prices considering I didn't drink at the bar.
I know who did drink at the bar.
Do you?
Yeah. I got chewed out like the second I stepped in the center by Joe Tiffany, who was a frequent visitor to the bar apparently
He,
that night. So
he has a good time.
I of course he does. He has a great time. Everybody had a great time. It seemed, it didn't seem like
But that particular day, he was
that
having a good
particular day.
time.
Yo, I mean, I like I said, I've got two children, and I've been ridden before to get those two children. Okay, Joe Tiffany was riding my ass like I did my ex-wife to get those kids that night because I don't know what was well, I knew what was going on. He was hammered, but like at the same time, like Joe, you're everyone's favorite player. I have the right to be a contrarian here. Okay, like just, just like, oh, you ain't done this, you ain't done what I done, man. You are LeBron, okay? Everybody likes in LeBron, I get that, but because your favorite player is LeBron and mine is somebody else, don't mean you got to get on me for not liking you, okay? I like you. I think you're a great damn player. Obviously, I glazed you all through commentary through nationals, but that particular night, because because I chose someone else as my favorite player in Whirlyball. I got destroyed at the bar before I got to realize how expensive the beer was.
he he was watching he was listening to our podcast on the tablet and he probably took it personally.
Probably, yeah, he probably took it personally. Listen, and you will never, ever, ever, no matter how good you are, no matter how many unlimited titles you win, A division titles, which you took both this year. Chris Flores is still my favorite player, so suck it. All right.
That's too funny.
Anywho, so bar aside, before we again, I think a lot of people are in anticipation, like, oh, I was a tournament. What did you think it is? I need to comment on one last thing, chill. Okay. One last fucking thing. Before I even start talking about Whirlyball. If you want to fast forward to when we actually talk about in Whirlyball, go right ahead. I don't care. It's my goddamn show. Okay. I do what I want. So as a as a person with strict dietary needs, okay, I know I fall into like the 1 or 2%. I completely understand that. Okay. For those of you that don't know, I don't eat meat at all. So the lunch spreads that we had kind of shoved it right up my ass because I could eat nothing. On day one, I think I had a bag of chips. On day two, they had the vegetarian wraps, right? Which happened to be in pesto wraps, which I'm allergic to. So I didn't eat day two. And the last one for the banquet, I think I struck gold because we had rice and steamed veggies and some potatoes. That was my only meal. So like the little bit of nationals fee that goes into like our food and stuff, I just ate that shit because I didn't eat that shit. So what seeing as how I didn't actually physically eat, what was your opinions on the lunches that were provided?
I mean, it's Nationals food. It's not. It's what we've been eating for the past. I don't know. I've been playing 14 years now. It's Nationals food, and anybody who's listening to that knows exactly what I mean.
Hey, listen, man, I'm not expecting nationals food to be the equivalent of prison food, though.
I mean, most centers, it's prison food,
Well, we have
except Texas. Texas, when Snowy would cater in all that shit, like the Texas food, banging.
I mean, how could you go wrong in Texas though?
Dude, I banging. All of their food was delicious. I'll never complain. I'll pay for food there.
I
But nah.
I remember the last nationals I went to in Texas. Obviously, I missed the one where you guys won C, but the one before that, when I was still eating meat before I, converted, back when I was like, really, really fat. Um, Everything that I ate in Texas, A plus, A
Oh,
fucking plus. I mean,
yeah.
without question, it's not even close. It's not a competition. Texas has the best food in center, out of center, around the city. Texas wins, period.
I mean, them boys aren't small.
Nah, there are a lot of big boys out in Texas for a reason. I
There's
see.
a lot of husky gentlemen out there.
Because that food is so damn good. Like, I don't know what they put in that man, but I still remember some of the I ate down there, and holy crap. And this was years ago. Years at this point. Man, Texas, not even close. It's Texas by a landslide.
Um, but no, I mean, it's Nationals food. I mean, there's a reason why a lot of the centers kind of did away with it and just leaving you on your own. I know I would rather have a cheaper entry fee and then go buy my own lunch.
Yeah, but we couldn't eat inside the center, remember?
You just eat in the car then.
just eat in the car. Like, no.
But yeah, I mean, it's center food. Yeah, they did what they can.
What you're trying to say is it sucked.
It did.
Okay. I just want
I
to.
will say I did enjoy the banquet food. I thought was good.
Again, I agree.
So I guess I
I
mean
was
at
with
the
it.
end of the day, at least my lasting impression was like the food was good. The banquet food was good. Had a good selection for everybody. So I can't really complain about the banquet food. So at least that was good.
Fair. I don't remember what we had last year. I think it was like mediocre.
We didn't have food.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We said screw that.
Yeah, Paul sold his own stuff, and Sue made her own like little rice bowls or the all the little Chinese shit she made. She sold out
Oh, yo. Remember the Paul and his hot dogs?
hot dogs. The breakfast burritos. I think he
The
was selling the
breakfast
woman.
burritos. Yeah, we had the breakfast burritos.
So, but at least it was stuff that like if you wanted to buy it, you could, but you didn't have to. You could still bring in your own food.
Right. Yeah, that's what we did. Yeah, fair. I think that should be like the template, like moving forward. Like, bitch, get your own shit. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and listen to you complain about the food that my center served for you. Nah, man, just cheaper entry fee. I will go around the corner and get
Yeah,
something to eat.
I mean, obviously obviously you can't control what your center makes and food wise.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like I said, the food that wasn't a part of the lunches was good. So I guess it's kind of 50-50 on that. Like I said, the pizza was good, the wings were good, the nachos were nachos.
Fair. Hey, wasn't didn't one day was it the second day they ran out of the burritos? Like, not, they ran out of shells for the burritos, and then they ran out of nacho chips, and they were serving pita chips instead.
Yeah, they were hurting. They were hurting on that day.
They was hurting. Them motherfuckers had pita chips, dumping pita chips in salsa. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers is tripping. All right. Enough with the negativity. Let's get into some more negativity. Again, if you wanted the positive outlook on in nationals, you need to go listen to Steve and Mark Mills and Noah. They are just the most positive people on the planet. I'm not. Like, I hurt a lot of people's feelings last podcast, apparently, because I said Chicago can't shoot from beyond two welds. And apparently they took that personally and went on and messed around in 1B. Okay. So that's all I heard the entire tournament. Oh, two welds it in. Look at the film, bro. That's literally what y'all did. And it worked. And kudos for that working. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, that's an accomplishment to win B. I've never won B. I've never won C or D. Never played an A. So y'all get the right to play an A. because y'all won playing y'all style. It's a good style. It's successful. But like hearing all the and it was, all in good fun. Of course, like no one's like, if they were talking shit, it was definitely behind my back, which is fine. I'm pretty sure a lot of people talk shit about me behind my back. I'm totally cool with that. But like I said, it was all friendly banter, and I was totally fine with it. So, but speaking of the whirly ball play and the actual experience, what we all came to do, um, what was your overall impression on the courts, the cars, the just everything outside of you individually playing the game of whirly ball? Like, what did you think
Um,
of everything
I
surrounding
mean,
it?
all together with with everything being said, like I had a fun tournament. Truthfully, um, could there have been things that are better? Sure, you could say that about any tournament. Um, my biggest gripe, truthfully, and we'll touch on it when we need to, was the reffing. Some of that is on the volleyball community, and then some of that is on the people running the boards. But again, we'll kind of touch on that separately. Um, but I mean, as a whole, I had a fun tournament. I had overall a good experience in Chicago. Um, like I said, them putting up that live stream on Court Two that helped out a ton. Uh, Made it more friendlier for us, truthfully. Um, but altogether, I had a fun tournament. The cars are, I mean, the cars were the cars. Um,
The
I
food
think
was the food. The cars were the cars. The cars fucking sucked. Okay. Period. There was a dog shit car on one on each color every freaking game. There was a rocket, that damn zero car on court one before it got switched over before unlimited was literally overpowered. Okay. Like it was a huge discrepancy. Some of the black cars sat at least 3 inches higher than the red cars.
I think it was all the black cars
Yeah,
had
okay,
the
yeah, all of the black cars. Yeah. So like that's an advantage. I mean, like all of a sudden what you were blocking in the first half, you can't get a piece of in the second half. That shit sucks.
yeah. I think the cars could have been better. Again, the mechanics were not good. I mean, they tried.
They were
They tried.
busy. They were
They were
busy.
busy. They were busy, man. Also, I mean, no offense to them. I mean, the one mechanic was kind of a dick when I tried to, hand him a seatbelt, and he got real mad about it because they made James put on 27 seatbelts. Um,
James, who's never worn a seatbelt in his damn life. But
yeah.
not even in his own car, I'm sure, wears a seatbelt.
um, but like, yeah, I mean, the car breakdowns were just, they were switching cars on and off, and they did it timely. Obviously we were ahead on all of the days, so it's like, again, they were doing it very timely, and they were trying, but um it just didn't seem like they knew how to just fix the car.
I mean,
Like they
like,
just
and the
they band-aid fixed, and it's like you would take off a car, and then 2 games later or a game later it's back on. It's like, man, this is a little.
Yeah, I mean, like, and the funny thing is like, I don't know what it was. Like, I get, from an ownership perspective, or maybe even like them working or whatnot. Like, I get, like, your equipment, but at the same time, the whirly bugs are almost not universally the same, but have similar properties to where, like at home, I fix cars. Brad fixes cars. You know how to fix a wire. We know how to take off cars. We know how to lift cars. Ricky was there, who's been working on cars for the past 40 damn years. Like, and they wouldn't let us touch them. I mean, not touch a car outside of driving and playing. So like at that point, like you have to realize like these are we got different owners that are there. Snowy like knows a thing or two about cars, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think
Like
that just a little bit. I
a
think he
little
might
bit,
know.
a little
Yeah,
bit.
he
You know,
can read the wiki.
yeah, yeah. There's so many of us that were more than willing to help out and do whatever we could to have a smooth Nationals experience. And we just got banned. Like literally was like, nah, bitch, you better sit that ass down.
I
Like it
think,
was
and maybe some of that has to do with us being the unknown to them. So maybe if they do host again, whenever that may be, they may be more receptive to the idea of our help. So maybe they were just fearful of the unknown.
I'll give you a point for that, but at the same time, like if someone's gonna help me do something and they may be as knowledgeable, if not more knowledgeable than me at what I'm doing, shit, help. come come on with it. Like what's the point? There is no point. There's no liability concerns. You know what I'm saying? Like I just didn't get it. But you touched on it for a second. The reffing, part of it's on the community, like you said, because there was players up there. A lot of us were up there. But like the boards and like that, oh man. Scores were wrong sometimes. The key clock was non-existent. I think we were just guessing half the time with that damn key. It was
Yeah.
it was bad. It
Yeah,
was
I mean,
bad. I mean, simple as that.
I've watched several national games of just ours. I like there's 3 games where we didn't get points. And like it affected the outcome of the game because you have to play differently depending on score. I mean, and I haven't watched a lot, and just in the first couple games I've watched, there's missed scores. I mean, I give kudos to all of the people running the boards. They're just normal. They run groups. They run the boards. I get it. I would just strongly advise for nationals if they don't want Whirlyball, if they don't want the outsiders touching the boards, then let the Chicago contingent, and there's plenty of people, let them run the boards, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you can trust
Mm-hmm.
your in-house people to run the boards. At least let that happen because I can't be trying to spot, paying attention to the score, telling you the key. Like I can't hold your hand. Like it's a national tournament. I'm not there to hold your hand. Like you have eyes, bro. You've been allegedly you have been told the rules. You guys had a meeting about it. Hit the key button. Like you're there. Like when people are in the key. 30 seconds. As much credit as we want to give for the electric whistles, those were a disaster.
Oh
I'm not.
man, those sucked.
Yeah. Not that's on the center. So like again, that's none of our fault. Like the center can't get a horn in there to go along with their scoreboard. So again, that's on the center. That's not anybody. Dan Doherty tried his best to. I mean, that man did a remarkable job with the lasers. He tried his best with the whistles. Shout out to Dan. Kudos to
Except when it
Dan.
hit dead center.
Again, I give kudos to Dan.
I
That's like
kept
one in a
I
million.
busted his balls every time. Like, oh, so you don't get rewarded for perfect shots? Like what?
But no, shout out to Dan. He did a great job with what he could do. Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
but I
100%
mean,
agree.
like we had refs up there that's not like the microphones worked, and we have people up there not using them, trying to just yell down calls when the microphone works. You can understand people.
Yep.
Um, sometimes you think you hear a whistle, but there's no whistle, but there is a whistle, and again the overall again the people running the boards, kudos to you for you guys, working the long hours. I get all the credit to you, but um, that was a disaster in my opinion. I've already watched 3 games. There's missed scores. There's short 30s everywhere. There's no key clocks. We got to do better
Yeah,
with that.
I watched one of our games yesterday. It was against can't remember. It was Chiquan's team. And we lost that game, I think, by a possession. And it was maybe 2 minutes to go or something like that. And we had Chiquan in the key for like a year, right? And then, but the ball was loose after a shot that we missed. And then the guy picks it up, and Chiquan is in the key, by the way, like just chilling in the key. He picks it up, the 30 cuts on, and the key clock doesn't cut on. So 7 to 8 seconds later, he's still in the key, mind you. I think that it's got to be a violation. I leave. Okay, I'm looking up at 22 seconds left on the 30, and Chiquan was in the key the entire time. So I'm like, it's got to blow. I got to go. He gets the ball from the other from cross court in the key still, makes the shot, it counts, and then we're down by one and we end up losing by one. I'm sitting there like, how? This man built a tent in the key before the possession changed over. The entire possession, he was in the key, scores in the key, and somehow it's not a key violation. I watched that game back. I rewound it like 4 times, just watching it happen.
he,
I was
he
like,
got the hometown cooking.
maybe he didn't have the ball. Maybe nah, fam. That was just
But
so
that
bad.
also goes back to the spotters, and we got to do better as a whole for the community. Um, but yeah, that was it just wasn't good. Missed points. I can get over key violations and I can get over the other stuff, but I mean shots that weren't even within, you know, contest, not even counting. Like
Yeah, that's just
that's
unacceptable. I agree.
yeah.
I agree, 100%. But luckily, it didn't affect a lot of our tournament games, which is what we
No.
can talk about for a little bit right now. So, our first tournament, of course, was unlimited, and they brought probably some of the best whirly ball I've seen ever. I mean, there was a lot of classics put on out there. I mean, even we'll start with unlimited, but like I said, I watched a classic with you guys. I watched a classic in A. I mean, there was a couple nail biters in D. There was just a lot. We had a couple that was fun to be a part of. It was a lot of really good, hard, competitive whirly ball. As we mentioned before, Texas, their first time in nationals, in unlimited, and they won their first game. And I kind of want to get your opinion on like the overall setup for the unlimited tournament because again, I think the unlimited tournament still has a place in Whirlyball. I think it's one of the most exciting tournaments to watch. I'm glad it's still a thing. I hope it continues to be a thing. I know we want it more inclusive, and we got that this year with Texas coming out and, quite frankly, putting on a damn show. So, what did you think of that tournament overall?
I thought Unlimited was good. This was the best Unlimited tournament I've seen since I've been playing.
Facts.
Um, I've been playing since 2010. I've seen a lot of blowouts in Unlimited. That's just no fun to talk about or watch from that standpoint. It was good, man. Texas played well. They showed that they belong, or that they can hang with these guys. But it was a good tournament. Basically every team kind of beat each other there. So minus Texas not beating Seattle, but um, it was a great tournament, man. Those games were good. They had a lot of drama at the end, in terms
Yeah.
of playing, nothing with like refing or anything. The
Yeah. Yeah.
refing
Oh
was
yeah.
great.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Um, but man, it was a great tournament. I thought that was really cool, and again, I think that was good for our sport. I think it made a lot more people. I think there'll be a lot more eyeballs on it than usual now. So Unlimited as a whole, I think kind of gets an A+ there, man. I think they did a great job. Obviously, we may go to the ladder system. Whether that may be next year or years to come. Again, depending on schedule, and things like that. So I thought Unlimited was good, man. It was great games. Michigan beat Seattle. Seattle wins on Joe Tiffany's shot to kind of put it away there. It was great TV, as they would say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Must see TV without question. Some of the most fun I've had commentating, that's for sure. Unfortunately, I wasn't available to do the Texas win, but I did uh, get to finish out the rest of the tournament, which was awesome to see. I mean, anybody that was involved from reffing to playing, I mean, I think you guys got a treat. Again, I agree with 100% what you said. A+ to everybody that was involved in that tournament without question. I want to say, as far as from a volleyball perspective, that was the highlight of my trip. I mean, I love playing. I love being competitive myself, but I think because of the new team that was included, the new, well, pseudo new format, I think it's going to be a lot of motivation for teams to want to get better and get involved. I mean, we all in Cleveland have an aspiration to play an unlimited one day. There's no doubt about that. Chicago, now they get to move up to A. They get to experience that division first before they say, hey, maybe we're good enough to, hang with the big boys in unlimited, et cetera, et cetera. So I think even centers that quote unquote haven't arrived yet, like Minnesota, like those guys are motivated to do better. Like just overall, unlimited was awesome. Like hands down. It was great. It was 100% just the highlight of my week for sure. So anybody that was involved playing, again, I'm not going to call off rosters because I don't need to. You know who you are. We all saw you play. Only person that's getting a shout out is Gus because he uploads everything. And if you want to see who participated, you can go on YouTube on the Whirly Freak YouTube channel and check it out.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
and go look out. Go look at NFL Films, aka Gus.
Whirlyball Films.
Yeah, Whirlyball Films. The Whirly Freak. Check him out. He's got his links posted in the Whirlyball group. Also, check him out on YouTube. I believe it's just Whirly Freak. So again, man, go back and watch those unlimited games. They're really fun to watch. Again, a lot of drama, good drama. I highly advise watching it. So unlimited gets an A+ for me this year.
You know what we need is a voiceover guy for the Whirlyball games. Like if we could have him like chopped up NFL film style and like have that epic voice in the background, like Joe Tiffany and his defending champion Seattle Unlimited team takes the floor with the same roster
Yeah,
that won Unlimited last year. Can they defend against the up and coming Texas squad
yeah.
led by
The-
Snowy and Chris Bolte?
little did Jordan Huffman know he was going to get ready to be made into a poster. Could you imagine? That's when you like. That's when you cut to like the coaches on the sideline when Bolte was taking them to school.
Oh
Just
yeah,
cut to somebody coaching like we got to stop that guy.
we gotta stop that guy. That's
Well,
the guy. That's the guy.
we have the player interviews while the highlights are going.
Oh yeah, yeah, that'd be epic. Like, I mean, shout out to Jeremy too, who after his loss came up, well, his first one against Texas, and came up very humbled and sat on commentary with us for another unlimited game. So that was awesome for him to hang out with us to do that. If I was a competitor, obviously Hall of Famer now. But to be in that situation, like he didn't sulk, he didn't, wasn't upset. I mean, internally, I'm pretty sure he was, but externally, he seemed cool, calm, and collected. And that's the type of player that he is, But that's the type of player that a lot of these guys like are, especially if you've been in that spot year after year after year. And even if it was your first time, like all the Texas guys, like they did not shrink in the moment. Like they stood up and delivered. So again, A+ without question.
Yeah. Again, man, Unlimited it was cool to watch. Again, highly advise anybody listening here to go check it out. Good games to watch. And again, it's probably the best Unlimited tournament I've seen since I've been playing.
Fair, fair. Well, let's work our way down and then back up. The D division was claimed by the Scoop Dogs. Did you happen to have that roster for me
Yeah,
so we can
yeah. So this was
appropriately?
claimed by the Scoop Dogs, which was I'm not going to do last names because I'm not butchering them, but Sarah, wife of Dan, Alex, Aaron, Justin, son of Bill, and Miles. So kudos to you guys for taking home the D division. I refed the finals. It was very entertaining. I know you played one of the other Chicago D teams. So again, congratulations to you guys for bringing home the D trophy to Chicago. So you guys were fun to watch in that tournament. Even though we had our own Cleveland team, but you guys were very entertaining to watch. And obviously, Bill's son, making a little bit of history there. He may not have been the youngest, but he's certainly close or tied that record. So kudos to him, just showing that anybody of all ages can go out there and play some whirly ball. So, congratulations to the Scoop Dogs.
Yeah, which is why I need to get my daughter in a car as quickly as possible.
Got to beat it. Got
Yeah, the second she turns 9, she is in that car, and she's gonna take Daddy's scoop, and hopefully she doesn't win a Nationals banner before Daddy does, but that's neither here nor there. So we'll see. But
Man, maybe by the next time it rolls back to Cleveland, she could play.
that's going to happen actually, because if let's say, even if it's a 4-year cycle, next time it's back in Cleveland, she'll be 10.
Dude, let's go.
So that means Maya and Aaliyah can play in Nationals.
Dude, let's go. I'm coaching that team. I'm ready. Got it.
I want to see some of these guys and girls step on the court and see like my 9 and 10-year-old daughter on a D team.
Dibs.
Hey
Coaching them.
man, you're the coach. You're the coach. Daddy can't coach him. Daddy's gonna get pissed. Daddy will curse them out every time they miss a screenshot.
Hey man, if Trevor, Trevor won C with a bunch of future Hall of Famers essentially, but we need the kids team with uh with somebody really good. Let him play in C.
Hey man, I'm in. I'm in. The second Aaliyah blocks somebody, I will never let whoever that player is down. Let him forget about it.
Dude.
Like, you did not just get out there and get blocked by a 10-year-old. She's gonna be extending her ass off just like her daddy. Which I never got called for this tournament, which was nice.
I got called for pinning. I got called more for pinning than extensions.
Yeah, man. Don't they know the Cleveland way? Rolling up in that seat, motherfucker, man. Like, you had to earn shots over us. I don't give a damn.
Got called for 2 pinning penalties and 1 extension.
Nice. Nice.
So random.
Yeah, I think what do we say? What was Bill's son's name? Justin?
Yes.
So yes, a little bit of history there. And he actually has a rival that he doesn't know about now.
Yeah, he does. So to put it into some context, obviously, so Cleveland, we have Sean Murad. Those two are kind of the same age. I believe Sean's a year older. What is Sean, 15?
Yeah, I think it's
16?
a year. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, for context, when he was up on the stage holding the banner, I sent Sean a picture of that, ask, basically just saying like, hey, if he can do it, why can't you? And so it's given Sean some fuel, because to put it in context, the night before he called me, he just basically said thank you and all that other stuff, and he was starting his villain arc. So
yeah, man, he's on his villain
yeah,
arc.
man. So I gave him some fuel by sending him a picture of the banner didn't win. So
Well, I mean, he's a C player now,
oh yeah,
so we'll see. Hopefully, some of the locals from Chicago do make the trip, have that itch and urge to want to
yeah.
travel to Seattle
Bill,
next year.
make your son travel.
Yeah, so he can play C against me
Even,
and look him
even
dead
if
in the
you're
eyes of the fucking beast. And
yeah, if your wife says no, make your son travel. Put the big boy pants on.
facts, do it.
I mean, but also shout out, unrelated note, shout out to her because she balled out as well. But we can cross that bridge as well.
Wait, who are you talking about? Tracy?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, she is a freaking monster, dude.
Yeah.
like, I think I glazed her pretty good. I was commentating one of the games that she was participating in, and man, she's an animal. I mean, I will admit,
she absolutely destroyed our other C team.
dude. Yeah, she put the team on her back. She put the team on her back.
She killed Maiko, and
I remember, and we'll get into the C division winner here in a second. But since I was playing in C, I can harp on this. We played her team once in seeding, and that was the one game where the court completely broke down, like literally shut off for like 20 some odd minutes or whatever. And I remember the exact play it was because she pillow blocked me and got into the key and got the ball. And I remember literally jumping out of my seat behind me to block her. And I blocked her. And as soon as I came back down on the seat, the court shut off. And I was like, I block one person, and all of a sudden the court doesn't want to work. But yeah, man, she got me that play. There ain't no doubt about that. Because there is no way I should have been in that position to begin with, like having to reach behind me and over her head to block her. But yeah, she put on a show, man. Like, she's a beast.
Yeah, man. Shout out to her.
Yeah, we hope to see all of them next year. That's for freaking sure. But as we alluded to, the Slammin' Salmon from Seattle took the C division.
Yeah, so shout out to the old Slammin' Salmon. Again, team of Jeff, Jackson,
The
Gage,
photographer,
Dan.
baby, the
Yeah,
photographer.
again, unrelated note. Shout out to Jeff. Essentially, we got NFL films, and then we got NFL photos. And Gus and Jeff and anybody else who took pictures. Again, we appreciate it. Thank you. Again, I can't remember everybody's name, but Jeff does take amazing photos. So again, man, unrelated note. Shout out to Jeff. Congratulations. Gage, Dan Carney, Justin DeWitt, and Sean Atchison. Kudos to you guys for winning C. It
Hey,
was
fuck Dan Carney.
Dan Carney. You had the liberty of playing him. He was on the team that helped you make D gold.
Yeah, man, fuck him.
So again, shout out to those guys. I did get to watch since we did have two teams in C. I got to watch C, and those guys played really well. The championship game against the Chicago team was entertaining to watch. So
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
shout out to the old Slammin' Salmon. Congratulations on winning C.
yeah, absolutely. Very competitive division. Again, a lot of teams. One of the bigger divisions. Again, C and A were the divisions that had the most teams in them. But yeah, they played extremely well. Again, for me, it was like seeing a ghost from my past when I realized who Dan Carney was, and it's kind of salty the entire time. But they played well. Every team in C played very well. Despite 0-2s or 1-2 records and stuff like that. Man, everything was very competitive. So it was awesome to be a part of. The other smaller division in B was the home turf Reign, defending home turf, taking that B division title. So
Yeah.
who was on that team?
Yeah. So again, congratulations to the Chicago Rain, not to get mixed up with the former Seattle Rain. That'd be
Oh, remember the Rain? Remember Seattle Rain?
yeah, dude. Seattle Rain. I would take the Seattle Rain to beat the Chicago Rain, but that's neither here or there. Uh, Shout out to Bill, George, Sean, Dead, and Matty Ice. Kudos to you guys. What a way to actually come back in the B division after kind of taking, I believe it was like a 20-point loss to Seattle.
Oh yeah, they
Uh,
got their ass kicked that first game.
yeah, so kudos to you guys for taking a loss like that, but obviously just regaining your focus. If it was just a bad shooting game or whatever adjustments you may have made, so kudos to you guys. In the beating a team twice is probably not it's not very easy to do.
No, especially after holding that first L.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't a close game. I mean, they got destroyed, and come back and recoup like that and go back to win.
yeah.
Very very well composed, very well done by that team. So again,
Two welds and in,
their
baby.
their bunnies were landing. So it
Um,
was it was it was cool to see, man. So great job out
Yeah,
of them.
so again, yeah, kudos to them. I also want to give a little shout out to Atlanta, not having a center but still coming, still competing. So again, just shout out to them. But the B division, man, it was pretty competitive. Again, I didn't get to watch too much of it. We didn't have any representation in B, but playing against a lot of those guys for a while, B was B was competitive. So again, kudos. B was the smallest division, I do believe. So again, kudos to everybody in B. It was an entertaining division to watch. Congratulations on Chicago on winning B, and if you guys do play A next year, we welcome that. It's very fun to play in. Um, so again, or if you guys decide, if you're taking Jeremy, or if you guys are going to go back down to B, I'll be interested to see what y'all are thinking or what your plans are. So again, congratulations. Hope to see you in A, and it's fun. It's a different world up there, but it's fun.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of A, that was taken by Ginger Spice and everything nice from Seattle. I think I know that roster offhand because I've said it so many times. Brad Peters, Christie, John Weber, North America's favorite player, Joe Tiffany, is also on that team. And to be honest, and I can't stand this dude, literally can't stand him, but Raphael was like literally the MVP of that finals game. Like the
Hey,
dude
man.
was making shots and from everywhere, and he hit the game ceiling. I think it was a 3-pointer that put the game away. So I mean, that team was a machine, well oiled, can score from everywhere, can defend everywhere. It was not too far off from their unlimited team. I mean, there's guys and gals with unlimited experience on that team. The
I
mixed
mean, three.
generation team put up the fight of a damn lifetime. I mean, Timmy could not miss from anywhere on the court. Austin was doing his thing down low. I mean, he was hitting from everywhere, being that motivating factor for that team. Those were great games. Great set of games to watch. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Raphael. He played great all tournament. So shout out to him. Christy killed it. Um, you know, Joe is Joe. I was gonna say Joe is Joe, but Joe Tiffany is just Joe Tiffany back there.
Yeah, don't you say just
Uh,
Joe. His name's
yeah,
Joe Tiffany. Deal
yeah,
with it.
yeah. Brad Peters. Brad Peters had a great tournament and unlimited tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So again, that whole team, Weber holding down defense. So I mean, that team played great. We unfortunately only got to play them one time, uh, that weekend. So that kind of sucked. That was the only team that beat us by double digits, I do believe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we would have loved to play them again. But unfortunately, it's just not the way the schedule broke. So kudos to them. They were fun to watch and play against. Unfortunately, I only got to play against them once, but yeah,
There's always next year.
yeah, but it's not the same team. So
I know, but still, you get to see the same guys and gals next year. So I mean, that's hopefully.
that's true. I mean, we still may be able to play against some of the Seattle A players that maybe don't travel anymore or whatever the case may be. So like us, for Cleveland and Chicago, and maybe some of the Texas players that I haven't been playing A too long. We still get to play against new people. Even next year, we should be able to play against new people. So that'll be really cool, and maybe some of the Michigan guys too, depending on who they're bringing. So that's just cool for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick before I give out a couple awards and we wrap this up. Um, how was the experience with the goat? He in the game you guys got eliminated. You kind of got the goat experience firsthand, man. I was getting wrecked by James Gill for a little bit, Phil.
It's I mean, it's appropriate. He's supposed to do that. So yeah, I think that was the most entertaining game outside of Unlimited.
From my perspective, I agree. I mean, like to be so composed in the moment because James went on what like a 12-0 run by himself.
He
Like
did well.
he did well. He did
um
well.
so yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of times where you're going to score 54 points and lose. Um
No,
but we
no.
lost by one. So again, no shame to losing to James, Carl, Ian, Ben, and Eric. So again, no shame in losing to those guys.
The Iceman, Eric, that bastard boy.
Yeah, man.
Whoo, those shots at
I
the
mean, but
end. My God.
everybody on that court was on fire.
Oh,
Again,
without question.
when you score 109 points combined, it's a little hard to say anybody was missing shots. But Nah, man, that was probably the funnest game I've ever been a part of. It was just a lot of fun. Yeah, we had a hard time stopping James. We were down by 14, called a timeout, made an adjustment, and then we kind of kept James at bay for after the timeout.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, absolutely.
so, I mean, altogether, that game was it was so much fun. I don't can't remember a lot of the times where you come off the court from just a tournament game and there's like 40 people at the door.
It was probably, again, everybody that watched and got the pleasure to watch that game was just mad respect to both teams that were
Yeah.
involved. I mean, you should have heard Joe Tiffany freaking the fuck out, man. It was because they wouldn't let your brother up court. And then the second he got towards a weld, he just kept draining threes. And it was like, he's free! He's free!
A side note, um, James did so we did talk to James after, and James said that he had a little extra motivation to win that game, because if he would have lost, that would have been the first time James ever went 2-0 in a tournament. So
Wow.
we were that close to making history again.
Hey, how'd you lose that game, Chill? Dude,
Brad missed a tough contested shot in the
a
key.
tough contested shot.
Yeah, I mean Carl was basically all out his car, but he was on the far side, so kudos to Carl. But yeah, Brad missed a tough contested shot.
Hey man, if I was Carl, I would have jumped out of my car too. I would have been like,
He
no,
did.
no, 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 no. I mean, seatbelt off. Like I would have jumped and tackled, and I would have RKO'd Brad and see if the referees could have called it. Because
I mean,
as far as refing goes, it was that piss poor that I think an RKO out of nowhere wouldn't have got called.
yeah, I don't know. We had Josh from our center and Christy ref that game. I don't.
All right, all
I,
right, all right, all right, all right. They would have said something.
well, I don't know if Josh would have said something. We would have needed Christy to be like, come
Yeah, yeah.
on.
No, no. You think if Carl would have RKO'd Brad, you think Christy would have called it? I don't think she
Yeah,
would have.
I do. I do. Christy's very fair.
I'm just kidding. Um,
She didn't call me for any extensions, so
oh, that's got to be fair because Lord knows your ass was out of that seat.
yep.
Yep. Yep. Um, Before we wrap it up, Chill. Who do you think if there was an MVP award for the entire tournament? Because I have mine in mind. Across every division, sometimes like these D guys don't get recognized. C, sometimes B, to a lesser extent, even though Chicago played extremely well, like I said. But normally, top award, top division, top players, et cetera, et cetera. If you were to give out MVP awards, that's something that we don't do. We give out, our legacy awards and things like that. Last year it went to Billy. This year it went to little Dave, which was awesome to see,
Yeah,
by the
we'll
way.
we'll,
So
we'll cover that in a second.
yeah, that was great to see. But if you were, let's say, if there was an MVP trophy for Whirlyball, who would you award it to this year?
Oh man, so is it just one for every division?
Absolutely not. It is one player. It is one standout player. It could have been, again, it could have been a D player that dominated the entire tournament. It could have been a C player, same thing. It could have been on the offensive or defensive end. It could have been any plethora of metrics that we could have used to give out the award. But like I said, if across all divisions, one guy or gal.
Um, man. So for me personally, obviously playing an A is gonna kind of tilt it, but um, this man not only had a great A tournament, but had a really good unlimited tournament. I think my MVP is going to Brad Peters.
I think that is a very, very good call. I do agree. And unfortunately, I would say in my voting, he would have finished second. And I mean a close second too. And if it wasn't for the unlimited performance, I would say Raphael would have got it. But because of unlimited and winning both A and unlimited, it's got to be Joe Tiffany for me.
Well, what a way to
Defensively,
make it back up to him. You're not his
D,
favorite player, but then you give him the MVP.
he ain't my favorite player. He ain't my fucking favorite player, but he's the best player. So I think you can make an argument between like him, Brad, James, obviously still in that conversation. Um, Bolty, freaking.
Chris, hey, listen, Christy needs to be up there. She played really well.
I mean, I agree, but like I said, you look at like these standout individuals because again, Joe did it offensively and defensively. I don't know how many blocks this man had in Unlimited alone. Like even when he was getting like dogged for some plays, I mean, you could put Barrett up there. There's a lot of players you can put in that like upper stratosphere of top performing individuals throughout the tournament. I think that, on that Chicago B team, that was a team effort. I don't think there was one individual that was like, wow, this is
I
the
thought,
reason why they're winning.
I think the MVP for that team was Trey, coming back from a couple years not playing. And obviously, they made some adjustments to their B team. I think adjustments that were for the better. Again, we're not here to hold feelings accountable, but I think him coming back opened up a lot of things for that team. So
Yeah, but like I said, it was the team. It was the team.
yeah,
Like without all five of those individuals, they couldn't have won. So that's what I said. Like it's hard to take an MVP from that team and say he was the overall best player or she was the overall best player. But like again, because of the limited exposure that Brad got and Joe Tiffany got, like minus their A performances, it was their unlimited performances that put it over the top too. Like one can make an argument for Bolte as well, in my opinion. I mean, that dude was a one-man wrecking freaking crew.
yeah. I
Period.
mean, it comes back to the age-old question: how much do you factor in winning? Just
Yeah,
from
I agree.
The A tournament alone, unlimited, you could make an argument he was the MVP for the whole tournament. I think behind Brad Peters. Uh,
Yeah, but then like you said, that's where winning comes into
yeah,
again. Like
again,
this is like a
depending
this is
on
like a tournament award as opposed to like or the MVP for seeding. Like a regular season award for like
right,
NBA. But
but yeah, for me, it's Peters.
yeah, I'm gonna go with Joe on this one. I would love to hear anybody else's opinion.
Oh,
Don't you know what? Don't put it on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Send me a message. Come on the show with us. You know what I'm saying? Grab yourself a microphone and a nice internet connection. If you want to spew your thoughts on anything 2024 Nationals and Vernon Hills related, please by all means shoot me
or
a DM.
or if you want to talk some shit, we're here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Any
Yeah.
shit talking is more than welcome. Do not be shy about it. Any closing thoughts, my man?
Uh, before I mean, I'll give the devil his due. I'd probably put Timmy in that MVP consideration too. I really felt like towards the end of that tournament, uh, he was getting the James treatment. He was getting the good shooter treatment where he wasn't allowed to play.
Yeah.
And I mean, like you said, that man shot lights out. So again, man, I'll probably put Timmy up there as well. So I kudos to Timmy, man. He played well. I think a lot of the guys that came up from B played well. I mean, obviously our team, Noah, Timmy. I think Greg. I think Greg kind of getting shoot into A there at the last minute. Shout out to Greg. Um, but I mean, just last minute thoughts again. Congratulations to Dave Montz for winning the Lifetime Achievement Award. So
Dave.
kudos to the Commissioner of Fun. So again, a great ambassador for the sport, all around good dude. If you're a new player and you have not talked to or met Dave, just approach him. Sweetheart, that man is. So again, get to know Dave. Say hello to Dave. Kudos to Jeremy on his Hall of Fame induction.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still playing for another 20 years, but congratulations on the Hall of Fame induction. Uh,
Yeah.
so kudos to Jeremy. Again, all around good dude, great player, deserves to be there. So again, the tournament as a whole, I had fun. I did end up having a fun tournament. A was a blast to play in for the first year. I'm excited to go to Seattle. The Chicago staff, everybody did a great job. Again, the little nuances we're kind of picking at is just that's just what we do on this show. So again, I had a fun tournament. I can't really complain. How about you?
Overall, I had a great experience. It was great hanging out with everybody. Of course, it's always fun to catch up with everybody, have a few drinks with everybody, talk shit with everybody, and obviously, one of my favorite parts is watching Whirlyball, and B, being able to be a voice for the community for Whirlyball. Starting this podcast, doing the announcing and the commentating, that is where my heart and soul really is. Again, from a player perspective, obviously I want to be better and get the opportunity to play with you guys, and get the opportunity to be better, be considered as one of the better players in volleyball. And I mean, that's obviously ultimately a lot of people's goals, but I'm just trying to play my part and contribute to where I can. So I think I'm doing a decent job of that. So overall, I mean, like I said, having a nationals is drivable. It was sweet. 5.5 hours is nothing for me. Next year we're flying, which is cool. But yeah, man, it was an awesome experience, minus the little nuances, like you said. But again, thank you to Chicago for hosting. Thank you to anybody that was involved with any of the grunt work, like I said, mechanically or cleaning up or dealing with our crazy asses at the hotel. Anybody that was a part of the overall experience. This thank you for growing this community, because like I said, that was a record-setting amount of teams. So I mean, that was awesome to see, and hopefully we can replicate that in Seattle next year. So yeah, that's about it, man. Overall, like I said, probably a B experience for me, a solid B, which is a lot more than I can say for some nationals I've been to. So I think it was an awesome experience.
Yeah, yeah. For this being Chicago's first year hosting, since they came back to the sport, like I said, man, a solid B. Again, it was a good time. They have that experience of hosting now, so they can make adjustments if needed
Mm-hmm.
for when they host again, if they want to host again. So again, man, like you said, we obviously can't go through all the thank yous. They did do a great job of that on the other podcast, kind of nailing that hats. But again, thank you to the staff, mechanics, the people that ran the boards. Thank you to you guys for putting on a successful tournament. So kudos to you. I think is it Tracy was the GM. Kudos to her. She tried everything in her power to give us a great experience. I had the honor of refing with her when we had to ref our block, and she was a great time up there. So kudos to her.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, can't forget Clint Fisher, obviously doing everything that he does. Um, Again, if you haven't checked it out, make sure you go to Whirly Freak, Gus's YouTube channel, to watch everything Nationals related. All our games are on there from years past and this past year. Go to Noah and Steve's and Mark Mills' podcast, the What in the World podcast, their podcast, obviously the more positive side of everything. I think the Texas Boys is going to be doing one here soon, so make sure you check them out. And again, if you want to be a guest on the pod, either pod, just shoot me a message anytime and we can set it up. So your thoughts on volleyball as a whole, regardless of what angle you want to come from, please
Yeah.
jump on in, grab a
Or
mic, and I'll
or
sit down and chat with you.
if you guys have any topics or anything you want to talk about and you want to come on the show, be happy to have you.
Absolutely. Well, that'll do it for your boy Sully. That's been chill. And we are What in the World, the East Edition, and we are out.